Western Kentucky Sports Information Contact is Robert Sampson. On the dais with me is head coach Michelle Clark-Hurd and student athletes Micah Jones, Kendall Noble, and Chastity Gooch. We'll have questions for the student athletes.
Andrew Dawson, WBKO. Girls, now that you're here, you're in Waco, you're at the site of where the game will be played. Has it finally sunk in that you're at the tournament and tomorrow you guys will be playing in the women's NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think it's finally sunk in. We're pretty excited that we have the opportunity to play in the tournament, and we're going to go out and try our best and get the W.
Stephen Hawkins with the AP. Chastity, talk about the challenge of, you guys won 10 games in a row, but now you get to play your first round game here at Baylor, against Baylor. Talk about that a little bit and the challenge they present.
Well, coming off a 10-game winning streak, we come in here very confidently. Just keep playing the way we have been as a team and keep communicating and focusing on defense. So that's helped us with our confidence a lot.
Girls, I know we talked about before you left a little bit, but what are you all saying amongst each other not to think too much about, it's Baylor, a 15 versus a 2 seed and all of that? How are you guys trying to stay even keel and just take this as one more game?
I mean, we're excited. They've had a lot of success over the past few years, and that's what we're trying to get back to with our program. So it's a great opportunity for us to come here and play Baylor.
Zach Greenwell, Bowling Green Daily News. Kendall, Baylor talked a lot about you guys switching defenses and how that's something they really have to key in on. Just talk about that through the year, how you guys have, instituted different defenses and how big of a key that is for you guys to mix things up.
Yeah, it's really big for us. It helps us a lot. Our defense obviously helps us get easy baskets and helps our offense get going smoothly. And, when we switch over defenses, it's hard on the other team, and most of the time they don't really know what defense we're in, and it helps us a lot.
Any more questions for student athletes? All right. Thank you, ladies.
I never seen y'all move that fast.
Any question for the head coach?
Coach, like Chastity just said, this team's coming in playing with a lot of confidence. But if you had to say anything to keep them from being overwhelmed by the surroundings and when they walk in and see the trophies and everything that Baylor's won and all the success Baylor's had about facing them on their home court?
I don't think that, not at all. I think the biggest thing is no matter what team you are, you still got to make sure that your team is focused when they walk into wherever they're at. I think the greatest thing about it is, you're right, Baylor has had a ton of success, but Western Kentucky, we have some trophies too, and in our trophy case. And I think the thing about it is it's been a while. So what we try to talk about is just like Micah said, trying to make sure that we can get back to this point with our program and continue to let our program grow.
Coach Malky talked about how she was an assistant at Louisiana Tech and just the great battle she remembered when Coach Sandiford, when he was at Western, and just the history that the program has. And I know you just talked about it a little bit, but how important is it for you to get that tradition and the success back on the Hill?
Well, I think it's very important. I think it's awesome for me to have the opportunity to sit here being a former player and having the opportunity to go through some of those glory years, and it's really important. And I talk to our team about it all the time. We make sure that that's something that we have displayed around on our campus and in our locker room and everywhere else. So each and every day that's important for us. But at the end of the day, I want them to be able to enjoy this moment, but also be ready to come out and compete like we have been the whole year.
Coach, you talked a lot about how good you guys have been on the road. This is obviously a different beast, but I guess how do you hope that confidence that you guys have been able to display on the road translates to this kind of stage?
Well, I think the biggest thing is what we try to do is make sure we kept things as normal as we possibly could, trying to make sure we got here early, got some practice in, and do the things that we've been doing. I think the biggest thing is understanding and knowing this is a whole nother environment. But, we went to Vanderbilt and played this year. We played on the road in Puerto Rico. We did a lot of different things, and I think that's what it's about when you're trying to help your program grow and get back to the point where you need to, and that's what it's all about.
Barry Williams, Big Red Network. Coach, we've talked about off and on during the season the ups and downs that the Lady Toppers have had this year, especially the big win in against Georgetown in Puerto Rico, and then we get back and find out we've lost Govan. Kind of tell us a little bit about the ups and downs, how you've been able to build and get the kids back up.
Well, I think the biggest thing, you have to understand and know as a coach, you understand that adversity is going to come, and it happens, and when it does, you got to be prepared to, get your staff and the players and everyone all back on the same page. When things happen, what I did is I just went to players individually, and when I talked to Kendall Noble, I talked to Michael Jones, I talked to the people to get them to understand and know that they were going to have to step up. Chastity Gooch had already stepped up, has been playing phenomenal. But I give Kendall Noble a ton of credit, and Micah, and not just them, but Chanel Lockhart, our whole team. This has been, for us to get here, this has been a team effort all the way across the board. And it goes back to Alexis Govan also, too. When she found out that she was going to be out, she's a very, very unbelievable competitor. So it was really, really hard for her. But to her credit, she's earned her coaching stripes now, and she sits on the bench, and she helps coach, and she does a lot of things that's really good for this program and for this team. So, I think any team goes through their challenges. What I'm most proud of is that we never gave up. In every situation, there's been games when we've been down. There's been, situations where we might not have played as well. But, to be able to sit here and say that we went on a 10-game win streak at the end of the season is a credit to those young ladies in that locker room.
Coach, before we left, I know at the watch party, Todd talked about how you two kind of came in together, hired around the same time, and now 2 years later, or you both got the job, he was named interim athletics director, you were hired at the same time. 2 years later, you're at the women's tournament. Just what does that say about the hard work all the ladies have put in, the staff, and just everyone, that just in 2 years, you've really turned the program around and you're here at the tournament?
Well, it says a lot. I'm very fortunate that, Dr. Ransdale and Todd and everybody believed in myself and gave me the green light to hire the staff and everyone else that we did. And, we just hit the ground running. When at my press conference, we talked about having the ability to be able to recruit and continue to keep working. And that's what we've tried to do. And, we went out and we added some pieces to the puzzle. And, we added Abria Gaines, and Kendall Noble got healthy. And, so I'm just very fortunate, and we're just super excited at where we're growing, and we're going to continue to keep trying to grow, and so we can be the best that we can be, so we can have the opportunity to, put ourselves in a position every year to have an opportunity to play in the NCAA. That's what it's about.
You talked some about, obviously, the challenges that Odyssey Sims brings, but can you talk just a little more about their other personnel and some of the other things you guys will have to look for?
Well, like you said, Odyssey, it speaks for itself, but they have a ton of other players in Davis who's really good, and, Robinson, who can really shoot it. And, they get up and down the floor, and they have, players that have unbelievable assist to turnover ratios, and they love to score. They score a ton of points. We're going to have to make sure that make sure we get back in defensive transition, and we're locating people and understanding and knowing where people are in transition. And, the team talked about, Chastity and them when they were up here, we try to take a lot of pride in our defense, and try to make sure that, we're doing the things that we need to, and that's what we're going to have to focus on. I think our biggest thing is our energy and our passion. What we've had all year is we got to make sure we bring that from the beginning.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.